Good morning, students. Welcome to a new session of English 2. Students, we have already studied parts of speech. In that, we have already studied pronouns. Now, let's revise. Pronouns are words that take the place of a noun. We can use a pronoun instead of a noun. Okay. Now, the examples of them are I, me, she, we, they, who, that, yours, his, her, it, etc. Okay, you can see more of them here. Now, these pronouns you can also classify in the form of 4 types. Like for girls, what you use? The pronouns that you use for girls are she, her, hers, herself. And the pronouns that you use for boys or boy are he, him, his, himself. Whereas for animal or object, it is it, its, itself. For a group of people or for a group, they, them, theirs, or themselves. Now children, the way we have seen in our previous slide that we have classified the pronouns in different types here, 4 types. Like for girls different pronouns, for boys different pronouns, for animal and object different pronouns, for group different pronouns. Same way for first person, second person and third person also we use different pronouns. Now what do you mean by first person? Means when we are speaking about ourselves. I, me. Okay. For second person we use you. Okay. And if two people are speaking about a third person, another person, then we use the third person. For example, he, I am a girl, where I is first person. Then you are a boy, where you is the second person. Then he is doing his work, where he is the third person. Okay? I hope you understood the first and the second and the third person concept here. Now, this also can be classified into singular and plural. Singular and plural we have already studied. Okay? And it also can be classified on the basis of gender. Masculine, feminine. Then we use it. Okay, and when we are talking about masculine and feminine, then you can see on the slide that in case of singular person, male or female, we use I or me. For second person singular, we use you in both the cases. And in place of third person, for male, we use he or him. Male means boys. And in case of females means girls, we use she or her. Whereas in case of things or group, we say it or they. Then it in case of singular, okay. Then if in case of plurals, male, first person, we say we. For example, in singular we will say I am going. In plural we will say we are going. Okay. Then or then for second person plural we use you. Now here for singular also and for plural also you are used. Okay. Then for third person plural we use they or them. Means they are standing there. He is standing there for singular or she is standing there for singular and they are standing there for plural. Or I have given the word to her, singular. I have given the verb to them, plural. I hope you have understood, children. Now let us see the kind of pronouns. Okay. What are the kinds of pronouns? There are 8 kind of pronouns. Personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, relative pronouns and interrogative pronouns. Now we are going to see in this video number 1 personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns and emphatic pronouns. Okay. Let us start with personal pronouns. Now what are personal pronouns? Personal pronouns, as in the examples shown, we, I, she, you, he, it, they are all personal pronouns. So exactly what do you mean by personal pronouns? A pronoun is a word. Now we know that pronoun is a word that takes the place of one or more nouns. It replaces the noun. But the most frequently used pronouns are called as personal pronouns. They refer to people or things. Okay. Example. See. Now in the slide here there are 2 parts. You can see personal pronouns. I like him and he likes me. He and I both like her and she likes us. We like them. They like us too. I hope you like us. We like you. Now here in the first part you can see I, him, he, me, he. In the first sentence I, him, he and me are all pronouns. They are personal pronouns. You can see in the table given below whether it is a singular form, whether it is in the singular form or plural form, but they are personal pronouns. Then in the second sentence, he and I, both are pronouns, personal pronouns. Her, she, us are all personal pronouns. We like them. They like us too. Here we, them, they and us are all personal pronouns. I hope you like us. In this, I, you and us are all personal pronouns. Then, we like you. Here, we and you are both personal pronouns. Okay, children? I hope you have understood. Now, personal pronouns are of 2 types. What are they? Subject pronouns and object pronouns. Now let us study about subject pronouns more. Now in short, subject pronouns take the place of the subject of the sentence. Okay. And object pronouns take place the object of the sentence. Let us see subject pronouns in deep. A subject pronoun is used as the subject of a sentence. Means what? For example, she is my best friend, where she is the subject. We have already studied subject and predicate, children, in our 5th and 6th and also 7th standards. So, she is the subject of the sentence. And it is a pronoun. So, it is a subject pronoun. Okay. It is my dog. Now, in this, it is the subject and is my dog is the predicate. Now, it being in the subject and a pronoun, it is a subject pronoun. It is used for the person about whom we are talking in the subject, in the sentence, sorry. Does he know the answer? Here, he is a pronoun and it will come in the subject part. Does he know the answer is a predicate. So, he being in the subject and is being talked about is the subject pronoun. You and I will meet later. Now, here we have 2 pronouns, you and I, and both are in the subject of the sentence. So, you and I are subject pronouns. Okay. Now let's move further. Now see children, here you can see a sentence. John is a doctor. He lives in London. Now he is a pronoun used for John. Now if you see, noun is always the subject of the sentence. Now this subject pronoun always comes before the verb. Okay, he lives in London. Okay, so what is the main thing that you have to remember about the subject pronoun? That it comes before the verb. Let us move further. Here, Mrs. Soberdash likes to dance will be changed to she likes to dance. Now here, like in the first sentence, Mrs. Soberdash is the subject of the sentence. Same way, when it replaces a pronoun, when the noun is replaced by a pronoun she, that she becomes the subject of the sentence, and it being a pronoun, it becomes the subject pronoun. Okay, so let's move further now. Now we will see the second type of the personal pronoun, that is the object pronoun. Now what is an object pronoun? An object pronoun is the object of the sentence. Now this comes, remember, always in the predicate of the sentence. See the examples. Give the book to me. Let us see the next sentence. The teacher gave her a reprimand. Now here also if you can see that the pronoun has come in the predicate part. The teacher gave her a reprimand. The teacher is subject and gave her a reprimand is a predicate. So in that, her comes in the predicate part. So it is the object pronoun. Now let us see the third sentence. I will tell you a story. Now in this sentence, if you can see, there are two pronouns, I and you. But I being in the subject, it is the subject pronoun, and you has come in the predicate part, so it is a object pronoun. Susan read it to them. This is the next sentence. Now here also you can see two pronouns, but both the pronouns are coming in the predicate part. So it and them both are object pronouns. Here you can see the personal pronouns and object pronouns. He is a personal pronoun, and for object it becomes him. She becomes her. It remains it, and you also remains you. You can see more examples here of object pronouns, children. See how it changes. The puppy chased the ball in the yard. Now the puppy chased it in the yard. Now it has taken the place of the ball. Okay. Then our teacher gave Isabel the graded test. Our teacher gave her the graded test. Here her has taken the place of Isabel. Can you keep the secret between you and I, or you and me? Now, can you keep the secret between you and me? Now, me has taken part of the subject. It is directly referring to the subject, and that is why it is the object pronouns. So, in all these sentences, in the first sentence, it is the object pronoun. In the second sentence, her is the object pronoun. And in the last sentence, me is the object pronoun. Okay? Now let us see one sentence in which you can find both subject and object pronouns and how you will differ it. Now, Sally is my friend. She listens to me. I like her. Now, in this sentence, children, if you can see, she is the subject pronoun because it talks about the person and it is come in the subject of the sentence. Listens to me. Now, me has come in the predicate part. So, it is the object pronoun. I like her. I has come in the subject part. So I is the subject pronoun and her has come in the predicate part. So it is the object pronoun. Now here is the list of the subject and object pronouns classified according to first, second and third person. This we have already seen in our previous slide. You can write down this slide in your notebook. Now, here on this slide you can see both of them together, both subject and object pronouns together. See, so students, you must have understood till now that we use subject pronouns to tell who a sentence is about, that is the subject. And we use object pronouns to tell who is affected in the sentence. Okay. So example for that is they go to the park on Saturdays. Now here we are putting subject pronouns before a verb. So always remember it comes before a verb. And in the second sentence of the example of object pronouns, she looks after me. Here we have put the object pronouns after a verb or a preposition. Okay, so this is the difference you can see. The subject pronouns comes before the verb and the object pronouns comes after the verb or a preposition. You can see the difference between the subject and the object pronouns. This slide also you have to copy in your notebook. Now we are going to the next part of the pronouns, the reflexive pronouns. Now what are reflexive pronouns, children? So what is a reflexive pronoun? A reflexive pronoun is a pronoun that reflects the subject. Okay, it is the subject itself. Okay, now let us study more about it. A pronoun that ends in self or selves. Now a pronoun that always ends in self or selves is a reflexive pronoun. Examples are given: myself, ourselves, yourselves, yourself, yourselves, herself, himself, itself and themselves. Now, a reflexive pronoun refers to the subject and directs the action of the verb back to the subject. A reflexive pronoun is always an object, never a subject. Means it is always in the, you can say in the predicate part, okay, in a sentence. Reflexive pronouns are necessary to the meaning of a sentence. Now for example, there are two sentences given, you can see them. The Carson family tried to lift themselves out of poverty. Ben Carson dedicated himself to becoming a doctor. Now here if you see, the word themselves is referring back to the family, and that is why it is the reflexive pronoun. In the second sentence, the word himself is referring back to Ben Carson. That is why it is the reflexive pronoun. Okay. Now let us move further, children. Here you can find all or many of the reflexive pronouns. Yourselves, themselves, yourself, itself, herself, oneself, himself, myself and ourselves. Let's move further. Now, in the reflexive pronouns, what you should remember? I is a simple. Now in this table you can see that how personal pronoun changes to reflexive pronoun. I is a personal pronoun which becomes myself. Example is, I sometimes talk to myself. Okay. You, in case of singular, yourself. Do you ever ask yourself this question? You in the form of plural becomes yourselves. So what is the example of it? Please take good care of yourselves. Means we are talking about more than one people. He becomes himself. He hurt himself with the knife. She becomes herself. She looked at herself in a mirror. It becomes itself. The cat licked itself. We becomes ourselves. We will clean the room ourselves. Now why ourselves and not ourself? Because we is a plural. We are talking about more than one people. They. Again they is a plural. So it becomes themselves. They had a nice time. They enjoyed themselves. Now there is a note given to us. What is it? Reflexive pronouns are used in three situations. Which are the situations? When the subject and object are the same. Means in a simple sentence like the cat licked itself. Okay. Then they are also used as the object of a preposition when the subject and the object are the same. For example, I sometimes talk to myself. Now if here you can see it has come after the preposition. Okay, and in the first sentence it has come after the verb. Then reflexive pronouns are also used to emphasize the subject, means to put more emphasis, to give the more importance to the subject or show light on that subject. So example is, we will clean the room ourselves. Okay. Now let us go to the next part. The next is the emphatic pronoun. Now what do you mean by emphatic pronoun? Emphatic pronoun means emphasizing on a word or emphasizing on a pronoun. Emphatic pronoun emphasizes a noun or another pronoun in the same sentence. Now examples you can see here. Devin himself gave the speech during the assembly. Now here himself has come immediately after the noun. Devin is the noun and himself. He has shown more emphasis on himself. We ourselves are responsible for our actions. We saw Jewel herself at the mall before her concert. We saw Jewel herself at the mall before her concert. I myself will always be dependable. Now here in all the four sentences, children, you can see that the reflexive pronoun, you know that any word getting self behind it is a reflexive pronoun. So this reflexive pronoun has come immediately after the noun. So the pronouns that come immediately after the nouns are called as the emphatic pronouns. Okay. So when reflexive pronoun is used to emphasize the particular noun, it is called as the emphatic pronoun. Now you can see the examples of this here again. There are 5 examples using each of the personal pronoun. I myself saw the masked thief. You yourself should learn to do it. He himself cooked a meal for dinner. She herself agreed to help me. We ourselves will support you. They themselves volunteered to clean the school compound. Now here I will tell you one more thing, children. It is not necessary to add an emphatic pronoun in the sentence. Without the emphatic pronoun also the sentence is meaningful. But just to show the importance or send light on give emphasis to the subject, the pronoun is added. Here you can find emphatic and reflexive pronouns both. So you can make out from this that both are one and the same thing. But then what is the difference between it? Why they are given different names? Let us see. See, in reflexive pronoun, action is done by the subject and it reflects upon the subject. And here the emphasis is given on a noun or a pronoun. Okay. So it can be a noun also, a pronoun also. Then second point to remember is it is placed after the verb. Always a reflexive pronoun is placed after the verb, whereas the emphatic pronoun is always placed after the noun or a subject. Okay. Then reflexive pronoun example is he hurt himself. Now you can see it is placed after the verb. Here in emphatic pronoun the example is she herself went there, which has come exactly after the pronoun. It can come exactly after the noun also. In the previous slides we have already seen the examples. So let us summarize, children. This is the slide that is showing you the first, second and the third person referring to the singular and plural part of the personal pronouns. Please copy down this slide in your notebook. Next one. The types of pronoun. Today we have seen personal pronouns. We have seen reflexive and intensive or emphatic pronouns. Okay. Now you are not going to study the relative pronouns, indefinite pronouns and reciprocal pronouns in this standard 7. This you will be studying in standard 8. And in the second video you will be studying demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns. Okay. Now, let us move further. Also, you have to copy this slide in your notebook. Now, when you are copying this part of the slide in your notebook, do not copy the parts that are cut by the red line. Okay, children? Now, this is a worksheet or an exercise given to you. What does it say? You have to find out the reflexive pronouns from the words that are given to you, and from each word you are going to make a sentence and write it down. Okay? Thank you for watching patiently, children. This is your teacher Dipti Kamalwar signing off. Let us meet in the next session of English 2 tomorrow with video 2.